Once upon a time, in a serene kingdom surrounded by rolling hills and sparkling rivers, there lay a hidden garden known only to a few. This was no ordinary garden, it was an enchanted garden, said to be blessed with magical flowers that could grant one true wish to anyone who tended them with love and care. In the neighboring village of Meadowbrook, lived a humble young woman named Elara. Elara was known throughout the village for her kindness and her love of gardening. Her small garden was filled with vibrant flowers and lush vegetables, and she often shared the fruits of her labor with her neighbors. Despite her happiness in her simple life, Elara longed to do more to help those in need. One day, while tending to her garden, Elara overheard a group of villagers talking about the legend of the enchanted garden. They spoke of its beauty and its mysterious, magical properties. Elara's heart was filled with a new hope. She wished she could find this hidden garden and use its magic to make a difference in the lives of her village. With a determined spirit, Elara set out on a journey to find the enchanted garden. She followed the clues from old legends and ancient maps, crossing babbling brooks and wandering through dense forests. The journey was long and challenging, but Elara's love for her village and her desire to help kept her going. After several days of travel, Elara arrived at the edge of a dense, misty forest. As she ventured deeper, the mist began to clear, revealing a breathtaking sight. Before her was a grand gate made of intertwined vines and blooming flowers, guarded by a wise old turtle. The turtle looked up at Elara with knowing eyes and spoke in a deep, gentle voice. To enter the enchanted garden, you must answer a riddle. Only those with a pure heart can pass. Elara nodded, ready to face the challenge. The turtle asked, I have no wings, but I can fly. I am not alive, yet I grow. I can carry you through dreams, but I am found only in light. What am I? Elara thought deeply and then smiled. The answer is a dandelion seed. It flies through the air, grows from a flower, and can be carried on the wind in the light. The turtle smiled back and slowly stepped aside. You have answered correctly. The enchanted garden is open to you. Elara stepped through the gate and into the garden. It was even more beautiful than she had imagined. The garden was a kaleidoscope of colors, with flowers of every hue blooming in perfect harmony. There were golden lilies, silver roses, and sapphire orchids, each radiating a soft, magical light. In the center of the garden was a magnificent, ancient tree with shimmering leaves. A soft voice spoke from the tree. Welcome, kind-hearted traveler. You have found the enchanted garden. What is your wish? Elara approached the tree with reverence. I wish to use the magic of this garden to bring joy and prosperity to my village, so that everyone may benefit from the abundance and beauty that I have seen here. The tree's leaves rustled gently, and a warm light enveloped Elara. Your wish is noble and pure. To fulfill it, you must gather a single flower from the garden and plant it in your village. This flower will carry the garden's magic and spread its blessings. Elara carefully selected a radiant flower from the garden and thanked the tree. She then made her way back to Meadowbrook, carrying the precious flower with great care. Upon her return, Elara planted the magical flower in the center of the village square. As soon as the flower touched the soil, it began to glow brightly, and a wondrous transformation took place. The flower's magic spread throughout the village, causing all the plants and trees to flourish, and the fields to yield an abundant harvest. The village was filled with vibrant colors and joyful laughter as the magic took effect. The villagers were amazed and overjoyed. They celebrated Elara's return and the incredible changes that had come to their home. With the enchanted garden's magic, the village thrived, and the people were happier than ever before. Elara's wish had come true, and her selfless act of bringing the garden's magic to her village made her a beloved figure in Meadowbrook. The enchanted garden's magic continued to bless the village for many years, reminding everyone of the power of kindness and the beauty of selfless wishes. And so, Elara lived a life full of joy and fulfillment, knowing that her heart's true desire had made a lasting difference. The village of Meadowbrook prospered under the magic of the enchanted garden, and its story was passed down through generations as a testament to the power of love, generosity, and the magic that can be found in even the simplest of dreams. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a charming village called Willowbrook, nestled between rolling hills and the shimmering lake, there lived a young girl named Elara. Willowbrook was known for its vibrant gardens, cheerful festivals, and the legendary tale of the enchanted key. It was said that this key had the power to unlock a hidden realm of magic and wonder, but it had been lost for generations. Elara, an adventurous and kind-hearted girl, had always been fascinated by the tales of the enchanted key. Her grandmother often told her stories of the key's magic and the adventures of those who sought it. One day, while exploring her grandmother's attic, Elara stumbled upon an old, dusty chest. Inside, she found a weathered map with strange symbols and a note that read, "To find the enchanted key, follow the path of stars." Excited by the discovery, Elara decided to follow the map's directions. That night, under a sky full of twinkling stars, she set out on her quest. The map led her to the edge of a mysterious forest known as the Twilight Woods, a place where the trees seemed to whisper secrets and the moonlight danced upon the ground. As Elara ventured into the forest, she encountered a talking owl perched on a low branch. "Greetings, young traveler," the owl hooted. "To proceed, you must pass 3 trials. Only then will you find the enchanted key." Elara, undeterred by the challenge, agreed to the owl's terms. The first trial was to cross a bridge guarded by a mischievous troll. The troll, with a gruff voice and a long, tangled beard, blocked the way. "Answer my riddle," the troll demanded, "or you shall never cross my bridge. What has keys but cannot open locks?" Elara thought carefully and then answered, "A piano." The troll grumbled but allowed Elara to pass. As she continued on her journey, she reached a sparkling river where a gentle mermaid named Lyra awaited her. To move forward, Lyra said, "You must help me retrieve a lost pearl from the riverbed. The pearl holds the light of the moon, and only with it can you find your way." Elara dove into the cool, clear water and found the pearl nestled among the reeds. She returned it to Lyra, who rewarded her with a shimmering seashell that would guide her through the forest. With the seashell in hand, Elara followed its soft glow deeper into the Twilight Woods. The final trial awaited her at the heart of the forest, where a magnificent, ancient tree stood. The tree spoke in a deep, resonant voice. To complete the final trial, the tree said, "You must show your true heart. Plant this seed, and if your intentions are pure, it will grow into the path you seek." Elara took the seed and carefully planted it in the rich, fertile soil. She watered it with a single drop from her water bottle and watched as it began to sprout. The sprout grew rapidly, forming a radiant path of flowers that led to a hidden glade. At the center of the glade was a pedestal, and upon it rested the enchanted key, glowing with a soft, golden light. Elara approached the key with reverence and gently lifted it. As she did, a magical aura enveloped the glade, and the forest seemed to come alive with a gentle hum. The talking owl, Lyra, and the ancient tree appeared to congratulate Elara. "You have completed the trials with courage, kindness, and a pure heart," the owl said. "The enchanted key is yours to keep, and its magic will bring joy and wonder to all who believe." Elara returned to Willowbrook, her heart full of joy and her hands holding the enchanted key. The villagers marveled at her bravery and the key's magic. Elara used the key to unlock a hidden chamber beneath the village square, revealing a treasure trove of ancient artifacts and magical wonders. The village of Willowbrook flourished under the enchantment of the key, and Elara's adventure became a cherished tale told through generations. The enchanted key's magic continued to inspire and delight the villagers, reminding them that true magic lies in the courage and purity of one's heart. And so, the village thrived, and Elara's story was passed down through the ages, a testament to the magic that exists within us all and the adventures that await those who seek them with a kind heart. Once upon a time, in a quaint village surrounded by dense forests and rolling hills, there was a small, humble cottage owned by a kind woman named Elara. Elara was known for her generous spirit and her love for all living things. Her garden was always blooming, and animals from far and wide came to her for help. One evening, as the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the land, Elara was tending to her garden when she noticed a strange, golden light flickering among the flowers. Curious, she followed the light and discovered an old, dusty lantern buried under a pile of leaves. Elara carefully picked up the lantern and brushed off the dirt. The lantern was ornately decorated with intricate patterns of stars and moons. It seemed to hum softly in her hands, as if it held a secret. As she brought the lantern inside and placed it on her mantle, the golden light grew brighter. With a soft click, the lantern's door opened, and out floated a tiny, shimmering fairy. The fairy's wings sparkled like diamonds, and her smile was as warm as sunlight. "Thank you for freeing me," the fairy said with a voice as gentle as a summer breeze. "I am Leora, the guardian fairy of wishes. For freeing me, I will grant you one wish." Elara was amazed but also a bit puzzled. She thought about what she might wish for. She had everything she needed and wanted nothing for herself. After a moment's reflection, she said, "I wish for a way to help everyone in our village." Leora's eyes twinkled, and she waved her wand, sending a burst of sparkling light into the lantern. "Your wish is granted. This lantern will now shine with a magical light that can bring joy and aid to those in need. But remember, the light only works if the heart behind it is pure." With that, Leora vanished back into the lantern, leaving Elara with a sense of wonder and responsibility. The next day, a storm hit the village, leaving the villagers in a state of disarray. Homes were damaged, and spirits were low. Elara knew this was the time to use the lantern's magic. She carried the lantern through the village, holding it high so that its warm, golden light could shine upon everyone. Wherever the light touched, flowers began to bloom, broken things were mended, and smiles appeared on the villagers' faces. The lantern's light spread joy and hope, transforming the village into a place of renewed happiness. But as the days went by, Elara noticed something even more magical. The lantern's light began to reveal hidden talents in the villagers. The blacksmith, who had always been gruff, found joy in creating beautiful sculptures. The baker, once shy, discovered a talent for storytelling that brought laughter to the village. The lantern's light helped each person find their own unique gift and encouraged them to share it with others. One evening, as the village celebrated their newfound joy and prosperity, Elara noticed that the lantern's light had dimmed. She was concerned but remembered Leora's words about a pure heart. She knew that the lantern's magic depended on the kindness of the one who carried it. Elara thought deeply and realized that the true magic was not in the lantern itself but in the way it had brought the villagers together and helped them discover their own potential. She decided to pass the lantern on to someone else in need, trusting that its magic would continue to spread. As she prepared to hand over the lantern, Leora reappeared, her eyes shining with approval. "You have used the lantern's magic wisely, Elara. The light it gave was a reflection of your own kindness and generosity. Remember, the greatest magic of all is the kindness in your heart." Elara smiled and handed the lantern to a young woman who had just moved to the village. She hoped that the lantern would continue to bring joy and inspiration to others. And so, the village thrived, and the enchanted lantern continued its journey, lighting up the lives of those who needed it most. Elara's selflessness and the lantern's magic became a cherished story in the village, a reminder that true magic lies in the kindness we share with others. And they all lived happily ever after. The end. Once upon a time, in a land where the moonlight shimmered on every leaf and the stars sang lullabies to the night, there was a hidden orchard known as the Moonlit Orchard. This orchard was famous for its magical fruit, which could grant a single wish to anyone who found it under the light of a full moon. In a small village near the orchard lived a boy named Elric. Elric was a dreamer with a heart full of wonder. His greatest wish was to bring joy and prosperity to his village, which had fallen on hard times. The villagers had heard whispers of the Moonlit Orchard and its magical fruit, but no one had ever managed to find it. One night, as the full moon began to rise, Elric decided to embark on a quest to find the orchard and make his wish. He packed a small bag with a few essentials and set off under the silvery light of the moon. The journey to the Moonlit Orchard was filled with enchantments. Elric walked through fields of glowing flowers and past streams that sparkled like liquid stardust. The path seemed to shimmer and change with each step, as if the moon itself was guiding him. As Elric ventured deeper into the forest, he encountered a wise old owl perched on a branch. The owl's eyes glowed with the light of the moon. "Where do you go, young traveler?" the owl asked in a voice that sounded like rustling leaves. "I seek the moonlit orchard," Elric replied. "I wish to bring prosperity to my village." The owl studied him for a moment before nodding. "To find the orchard, you must pass 3 trials, each testing your heart and courage." Elric nodded, determined to succeed. The owl pointed him towards the first trial. The first trial was a bridge made of moonlight that spanned a chasm filled with mist. As Elric stepped onto the bridge, it began to sway and shimmer. He took a deep breath and carefully made his way across, focusing on the light of the moon to guide his steps. Just as he reached the other side, the bridge vanished behind him. The second trial was a meadow filled with luminescent flowers that whispered secrets to the wind. Elric needed to find a single golden flower hidden among them. As he carefully examined each flower, he heard their soft whispers, but he didn't let them distract him. Finally, he spotted the golden flower nestled in the tall grass and picked it gently. The final trial was the most challenging. Elric arrived at a glade where a majestic, ancient tree stood, its branches glowing with moonlight. The tree spoke in a deep, resonant voice. "To pass this trial, you must give up something precious to you." Elric thought about his family, his friends, and his dreams. He realized that what mattered most to him was the happiness of his village. With a heavy heart, he removed a small locket from around his neck, a gift from his grandmother. He placed it at the base of the tree as a symbol of his sacrifice. The tree's branches swayed, and a gentle breeze whispered through the leaves. "Your heart is pure, and your sacrifice is great. You have passed the trials. The moonlit orchard is now yours to find." Following the guidance of the moonlight, Elric soon reached the moonlit orchard. The trees were laden with fruit that glowed softly in the moonlight. He picked a single fruit and held it close, feeling its warmth and magic. As he closed his eyes and made his wish for his village, a gentle breeze carried his words through the night. The orchard's magic took flight, spreading joy and prosperity across the land. The village awoke to find their fields lush and their homes filled with happiness. Elric returned to his village as a hero, but he never forgot the lessons of the moonlit orchard. He continued to help others, always guided by the pure heart and courage that had brought him to the magical orchard in the first place. And so, the village thrived, and the moonlit orchard remained a beacon of hope and magic in the moonlit nights, reminding all who sought its wonders that true magic comes from the heart. The end. Once upon a time, in the vibrant kingdom of Zephyr, there was a magical park known as the Garden of Wonders. This park was renowned for its breathtaking carousel, which was said to possess the power to transport those who rode it to the realm of their dreams. The carousel, adorned with intricately carved animals and glowing lights, could only be activated on the rarest of nights, the night of the aurora, when the sky danced with shimmering northern lights. In the heart of Zephyr, in a cozy little house at the edge of town, lived a kind and imaginative girl named Luna. Luna loved stories and adventures, and her greatest wish was to experience a grand adventure of her own. Her faithful companion was a clever, chatty raccoon named Pip, who had an eye for hidden treasures and a knack for solving riddles. One evening, as the night of the aurora approached, Luna and Pip discovered an old, beautifully crafted map tucked away in an old storybook on Luna's bookshelf. The map was marked with a golden X and had a note that read, "To find the enchanted carousel, follow the map under the night of the aurora, and your dreams will come alive." Excited by the prospect of an adventure, Luna and Pip set out to find the enchanted carousel. The path to the Garden of Wonders was bathed in the mesmerizing colors of the northern lights, which illuminated their way with a soft, enchanting glow. As they arrived at the entrance to the Garden of Wonders, they found it guarded by 3 magical gates, each requiring a unique challenge to pass. The first gate was the Gate of Echoes. This gate was adorned with glowing constellations and required them to answer a riddle. A gentle, sparkling voice from the gate asked, "I have cities, but no houses. I have mountains, but no trees. I have water, but no fish. What am I?" Luna thought for a moment and then answered, "A map." The gate's constellations shimmered brightly, and the gate slowly opened, allowing them to pass. Beyond the Gate of Echoes, they encountered the second challenge, the Bridge of Reflections. This was a bridge made of crystal that spanned across a shimmering pond. The reflections on the bridge were constantly shifting, and they had to find the right reflection to cross safely. Pip used his sharp eyes to study the reflections, while Luna carefully followed his directions. They found the correct reflection and crossed the bridge, which glowed warmly as they walked. Finally, they reached the last challenge, the Maze of Whispers. In this maze, the walls were lined with whispering vines that spoke in riddles. To find their way through, they needed to listen carefully and follow the correct whispers. Luna and Pip worked together, with Pip's keen hearing guiding them through the maze. They listened to the whispers and followed the right path until they emerged into the heart of the Garden of Wonders. There, bathed in the magical light of the Northern Lights, stood the magnificent enchanted carousel. The carousel was adorned with golden lights and exquisite carvings of mythical creatures. Luna and Pip approached the carousel with awe, knowing that their adventure was about to begin. To activate the carousel, they needed to climb onto the animals and speak their greatest wish aloud. Luna and Pip chose their favorite animals, a graceful unicorn and a swift dragon, and climbed onto them. With the northern lights sparkling above, Luna spoke her wish with a heart full of hope. "I wish for an adventure that will take us to the realm of our dreams, where we can experience magic and wonder." As Luna's wish was spoken, the enchanted carousel began to spin gently, and the world around them transformed into a dazzling, dreamlike realm filled with fantastical creatures and incredible landscapes. They soared through enchanted forests, flew over shimmering lakes, and explored magical castles, all under the glow of the northern lights. When the carousel finally came to a stop, Luna and Pip found themselves back at the Garden of Wonders, their hearts filled with joy and wonder. They had experienced an adventure beyond their wildest dreams, and they knew that the magic of the enchanted carousel would always be a cherished memory. The story of Luna and Pip's adventure in the magic of the enchanted carousel became a beloved tale in Zephyr, reminding everyone of the power of dreams, imagination, and the magic that lies within their hearts. And so, the Garden of Wonders remained a place of enchantment, where dreams and adventures came to life under the light of the northern lights. The end. Once upon a time, in the heart of a lush, sprawling forest, there lay a hidden village called Willowbrook. This village was unique because it was surrounded by a magnificent array of enchanted trees, each with its own special magic. The most remarkable tree of all was the Whispering Willow, which was said to hold the power to reveal hidden truths and grant a single wish to a person with a pure heart. In Willowbrook lived a brave young girl named Lyra, known for her adventurous spirit and unwavering kindness. She had heard many stories about the Whispering Willow and often wondered about the secrets it might hold. Her closest friend was a clever, golden-eyed owl named Orin, who had a knack for solving riddles and finding hidden paths. One crisp autumn day, Lyra and Orin decided to visit the Whispering Willow to uncover its secrets. As they ventured into the forest, they noticed that the trees seemed to whisper more loudly than usual, guiding them toward the heart of the forest. When they arrived at the Whispering Willow, they found the tree shrouded in a gentle mist. The tree's branches swayed softly, and its leaves shimmered with a soft, ethereal light. Lyra and Orin approached the tree, and a soft, melodic voice echoed through the mist. To reveal the secrets of the Whispering Willow and receive a single wish, you must complete 3 tasks that test your heart and spirit. With determination in her eyes, Lyra agreed to the challenge. The first task was the trial of courage. The Whispering Willow's voice guided them to a dark, winding cave at the edge of the forest. The cave was known for its eerie echoes and labyrinthine passages. Lyra and Orin entered the cave, and the darkness seemed to close in around them. They relied on Orin's keen night vision and Lyra's steady resolve to navigate the winding paths. They encountered various illusions and challenges along the way, but Lyra's bravery and Orin's guidance helped them find their way to the cave's heart, where they discovered a glowing crystal embedded in the wall. They retrieved the crystal, proving their courage. The second task was the trial of wisdom. They were led to a beautiful meadow where an ancient stone tablet stood. The tablet was inscribed with a riddle. I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with the wind. What am I? Lyra pondered the riddle carefully. With Orin's encouragement, she thought about the nature of sound and its presence in the world. An echo, she answered. The stone tablet glowed with a warm light, and a path appeared, leading them to the final task. The final task was the trial of compassion. They arrived at a serene pond where a small, injured dragonfly lay on a lily pad. The dragonfly's wings were damaged, and it seemed weak and in need of help. Lyra and Orin carefully tended to the dragonfly, using their gentle hands and soft words to soothe it. Orin fetched fresh water from the pond, and Lyra used some herbs she had gathered along the way to help heal the dragonfly's wings. Slowly but surely, the dragonfly regained its strength and fluttered its wings with newfound energy. With all 3 tasks complete, the Whispering Willow's mist began to clear, and its branches shimmered with a brilliant light. The tree's voice spoke again, filled with warmth and gratitude. You have shown bravery, wisdom, and compassion. Your heart is pure, and you have earned the right to make a single wish. Lyra closed her eyes and made her wish. I wish for the forest and its creatures to always be safe and harmonious, so that the magic of the Whispering Willow can continue to thrive. The Whispering Willow's leaves glowed even brighter, and its magic spread throughout the forest. The trees seemed to hum with joy, and the creatures of the forest rejoiced in their newfound sense of peace and safety. Lyra and Orin returned to Willowbrook, their hearts filled with happiness. The village celebrated their bravery and kindness, and the story of their adventure became a cherished tale, passed down through generations. And so, the Whispering Willow continued to stand tall in the heart of the forest, a symbol of the enduring magic that lives in every act of courage, wisdom, and compassion. The end. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled in a lush valley, there was a tale of an enchanted violin that was said to have the power to bring joy and harmony to anyone who heard its music. The violin had once belonged to a legendary musician named Alara, who used its magic to lift spirits and heal hearts. But after her mysterious disappearance, the violin was lost, and the village fell into a period of sadness and discord. In this village lived a young girl named Clara. Clara had always loved music and spent her days playing a small, worn-out violin her grandmother had given her. Despite its age and imperfections, Clara's music had a way of soothing the villagers and bringing them comfort. When Clara learned about the enchanted violin and the impact it could have on her village, she felt a deep resolve to find it and restore happiness to her home. The first challenge, the Forest of Echoes. Clara's journey began in the Forest of Echoes, a mystical forest where every sound seemed to be reflected and magnified by the trees. As Clara walked among the towering trees, she heard the soft strains of an ancient melody floating through the air. The melody seemed to guide her to a clearing where a majestic stag with antlers like silver branches stood. To pass through the Forest of Echoes, the stag said with a voice like the rustling leaves, "You must solve this riddle. I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I?" Clara thought for a moment and replied, "A joke." The stag's eyes sparkled with approval, and it stepped aside to reveal a hidden path leading out of the forest. "Follow this path to find the next challenge," the stag instructed. The second challenge, the River of Harmony. Clara followed the path and soon arrived at the River of Harmony, a serene river with water that danced and shimmered like liquid silver. The river was guarded by a graceful swan with feathers that sparkled in the sunlight. To cross the River of Harmony, the swan said with a gentle voice, "You must answer this question. What has many keys but can't open locks? Has space but no room, and you can play but not touch?" Clara pondered the question and answered, "A piano." The swan's eyes glowed with delight, and it flapped its wings to create a shimmering bridge of light across the river. Clara crossed the river, her heart swelling with hope as she continued her quest. The third challenge, the Cave of Whispers. On the other side of the river, Clara discovered the Cave of Whispers, a cavern filled with glowing crystals that emitted a soft, melodic hum. At the entrance of the cave stood an ancient door adorned with intricate musical symbols. A soft, melodic voice echoed through the cave, "To unlock this door and find the enchanted violin, You must reveal your true self. Share your deepest wish and prove that you seek it with a pure heart. Clara took a deep breath and spoke earnestly, "My deepest wish is to find the enchanted violin and bring its magic back to my village. I want to use its music to restore happiness and harmony to the people who have been struggling." The cave's walls began to glow with a warm, golden light, and the ancient door slowly creaked open, revealing a chamber filled with the soft, luminous glow of the enchanted violin resting on a pedestal. The revelation, bringing joy to the village. With the enchanted violin in her hands, Clara returned to her village. As she began to play, the violin's magic filled the air with a melody so beautiful and soothing that it seemed to touch the very soul of everyone who heard it. The music spread through the village, lifting spirits, mending broken hearts, and restoring harmony. The once sad village came alive with joy and laughter as Clara's music wove through the streets, fields, and homes. The villagers gathered to celebrate the return of their happiness and praised Clara for her bravery and determination. The tale of Clara's quest and the enchanted violin became a beloved story in the village, a reminder of the power of music, courage, and the magic that exists in the purest of hearts. Under the enchanting melodies of the violin, the village flourished once more, forever grateful for the girl who had restored their joy and harmony. Once upon a time, in the peaceful village of Bramblewood, nestled in a lush valley surrounded by towering mountains, there lived a young boy named Leo. Leo was a curious and brave lad, known for his adventurous spirit and his love of exploring the unknown. Bramblewood was a beautiful place, but it was facing a problem. A mysterious drought had dried up the village's water sources, threatening the livelihood of its people. One day, while wandering in the forest, Leo came across an ancient oak tree with a small, hidden door at its base. As he pushed the door open, he discovered an old, dusty book lying on the ground. Intrigued, he picked it up and started to read. The book told the legend of the Silver Grove, a magical place hidden deep within the forest that held the key to ending the drought. According to the legend, only a person with a pure heart and unwavering courage could find the grove and unlock its power. Determined to save his village, Leo decided to embark on the quest to find the Silver Grove. Early the next morning, he packed a small satchel with food, water, and the book, and set off into the forest. As he ventured deeper, the forest grew darker and more mysterious. The trees seemed to whisper secrets, and the air was filled with the scent of ancient magic. As Leo walked, he encountered a wise old owl named Orin. "Hello, young traveler," Orin hooted. "I see you are on a quest. The path to the Silver Grove is perilous, but I will guide you as best I can." Grateful for the owl's assistance, Leo followed Orin deeper into the forest. They soon reached the Whispering Falls, a cascading waterfall that sang with an enchanting melody. The legend spoke of the falls and the guardian who protected them, a graceful deer named Elara. Leo knew he had to gain her trust to continue his journey. "Welcome, Leo," Elara said, appearing from the shadows. "To pass, you must prove your kindness and bravery." Leo recounted his quest and the plight of his village. Moved by his sincerity, Elara agreed to help. To find the Silver Grove, you must follow the path of the moonflowers. They only bloom under the light of the full moon. Leo and Orin continued their journey, and as night fell, the forest was illuminated by the soft glow of moonflowers. The flowers formed a luminous trail, guiding them through the dense underbrush. As they walked, they encountered various creatures, a playful fox named Finn, who shared his knowledge of the forest, and a wise tortoise named Tara, who provided valuable advice. After several days of traveling, they reached the heart of the forest, where the moonflowers led them to a hidden glade. In the center of the glade stood a magnificent silver tree, its leaves shimmering like starlight. This was the Silver Grove. But to unlock its power, Leo needed to find the silver key, which was said to be hidden in the enchanted pond nearby. With the guidance of his new friends, Leo found the enchanted pond. The water was crystal clear, and at its bottom, he saw the silver key, glowing with a magical light. To retrieve it, Leo had to face his deepest fear, the fear of failure. Taking a deep breath, he dived into the pond. As he reached for the key, memories of his village and the people he loved gave him strength. He grasped the key and swam back to the surface. With the silver key in hand, Leo returned to the silver grove. He placed the key in a small, intricate lock on the trunk of the silver tree. As he turned the key, the tree began to glow, and a powerful wave of magic spread across the forest. The sky darkened, and then a gentle rain began to fall, soaking the earth and filling the rivers and streams. Leo and his friends returned to Bramblewood, where the villagers rejoiced at the sight of the rain. The drought ended, and the land flourished once more. The people of Bramblewood celebrated Leo's bravery and kindness, and the legend of the Silver Grove was passed down for generations. Leo continued to explore the world, always guided by the lessons he had learned and the friendships he had made on his journey. And so, the village of Bramblewood lived in prosperity and harmony, forever grateful to the young boy who had unlocked the secret of the Silver Grove. And they all lived happily ever after. I hope you enjoyed this fairy tale. Once upon a time, in a serene kingdom called Harmonia, music flowed through every corner of the land. The kingdom was known for its enchanting melodies, which came from the great music tree that stood in the center of the royal gardens. The tree was said to be blessed by the muses, and its leaves, when rustled by the wind, created melodies that brought joy and peace to the entire realm. However, one fateful morning, the melodies stopped. The great music tree stood silent, its once vibrant leaves now still and lifeless. The people of Harmonia were filled with sadness, as the music that had always been a part of their lives was now gone. The king, troubled by the silence, called upon the kingdom's most skilled musicians, but none could revive the tree's magical melody. Among them was a young girl named Eloan, a humble violinist with a heart full of music. Though she was young, her talent and passion for music were unmatched. Seeing the sorrow of her fellow villagers, Eloan decided to embark on a journey to restore the melody of the great music tree. The wise old minstrel of Harmonia, who had once spoken of a legendary artifact known as the Harmony Stone, told Eloan that this stone had the power to restore lost melodies. It was said to be hidden in the Forest of Echoes, a mysterious place where sounds often got lost or distorted. With a heart full of hope and a violin slung over her shoulder, Eloan set off toward the Forest of Echoes. As she entered the forest, she noticed the surroundings seemed to hum with a faint, dissonant melody. The trees were tall and dense, their leaves creating a maze of shifting shadows. Eloan's path was obstructed by a mischievous sprite named Leora, who thrived on confusion and riddles. Leora blocked Eloan's way and presented her with a series of musical challenges, each more perplexing than the last. Despite the challenges, Eloan's unwavering resolve and her deep understanding of music allowed her to solve the riddles and continue her journey. As Eloan ventured deeper into the forest, she came across a serene clearing bathed in soft moonlight. In the center of the clearing was a crystal-clear pond, and at the bottom of the pond rested the Harmony Stone, glowing with a soft, inviting light. However, the pond was guarded by a gentle but stern water nymph named Niamh. To retrieve the Harmony Stone, Niamh said, "You must perform a melody that resonates with the essence of the forest. Only then will the stone reveal itself." Eloan took a deep breath and began to play her violin. She played a melody that was not only beautiful but also captured the spirit of the forest, the rustling of leaves, the whisper of the wind, and the gentle trickle of the stream. The notes seemed to blend perfectly with the sounds of the forest, creating a harmonious symphony that enchanted Niamh. Moved by the melody, Niamh allowed Eloan to retrieve the Harmony Stone. As soon as Eloan touched the stone, it emitted a brilliant light that filled the clearing with a soothing glow. Eloan thanked Niamh and made her way back to Harmonia with the precious artifact. When Eloan returned to the great music tree, she carefully placed the Harmony Stone at the tree's base. The stone's light enveloped the tree, and slowly, its leaves began to rustle once more. The melodies that had been lost returned, flowing through the kingdom with a renewed vibrancy and joy. The people of Harmonia rejoiced as the music filled the air once again. The great music tree sang with a melody that was more enchanting than ever before, and the kingdom thrived with the sound of happiness and harmony. Eloan was celebrated as a hero, and the story of her brave journey and her magical violin became a beloved tale in Harmonia. The great music tree stood as a symbol of hope and the power of music, reminding everyone that even in times of silence, a pure heart and a true melody could restore the magic of the land. And so, Harmonia continued to flourish, forever touched by the lost melody that had been found once more, thanks to the courage and talent of a young girl who never gave up on the music of her heart. The end. Once upon a time, in the kingdom of Lumina, nestled between emerald forests and sapphire seas, there was a powerful artifact known as the Moonstone. This gem, said to be a gift from the moon goddess herself, had the power to control the tides, influence the weather, and keep the balance of nature in Lumina. The Moonstone was kept in a grand temple at the heart of the kingdom and was guarded by the most skilled protectors. One day, however, a wicked sorcerer named Malgur sought to seize the Moonstone for his dark purposes. Under the cover of night, he infiltrated the temple, casting a powerful spell to break the temple's defenses. Malgur stole the Moonstone and fled, intending to use its power to bring chaos to the world. The kingdom was plunged into turmoil. The seas became wild, the skies darkened, and the once harmonious land was thrown into disarray. Desperate to restore balance, King Eric called upon the bravest and most noble in the land to embark on a quest to retrieve the Moonstone. Among those who answered the call was a young woman named Lyra. Though she was not of noble birth, Lyra possessed a courageous heart and a deep connection to nature. Her parents were healers, and she had inherited their knowledge of herbs and remedies. Lyra also had a special gift: she could communicate with animals. "Your Majesty," Lyra said, kneeling before King Eric, "I may not be a knight, but I will do whatever it takes to recover the Moonstone and restore peace to our land." King Eric, seeing the determination in her eyes, nodded. "Lyra, your bravery and wisdom are what we need. Take this map, it will guide you to the sorcerer's lair. May the spirits of Lumina protect you on your journey." With the map in hand, Lyra set off on her quest. She traveled through dense forests, across raging rivers, and over towering mountains, guided by her intuition and the natural world around her. Along the way, she befriended a swift and clever fox named Ember, who offered to accompany her. "Lyra," Ember said, "I know the lands well and can help you navigate the treacherous paths to Malgur's lair." Grateful for the companionship, Lyra and Ember continued their journey together. They soon arrived at the Whispering Woods, a place filled with ancient trees and magical creatures. There, they encountered a wise old owl named Orion, who perched on a high branch. "Greetings, travelers," Orion hooted softly. "I see you seek the Moonstone. To proceed, you must solve my riddle. I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with the wind. What am I?" Lyra thought for a moment before answering, "An echo." Orion nodded approvingly, and with a flap of his wings, he revealed a hidden path through the forest. "Follow this path to the Crystal Caves," he instructed. "There you will find the next guardian." Lyra and Ember followed the path, arriving at the entrance of the Crystal Caves, where sparkling gemstones illuminated the dark corridors. Inside the caves, they encountered a beautiful water nymph named Seraphina, who guarded a crystal-clear pool. To retrieve the Moonstone, Seraphina said, her voice like a gentle stream, "You must prove your purity of heart. Within this pool lies a sacred pearl. Dive deep and bring it to me, and I will guide you further." Without hesitation, Lyra dove into the pool. The water was cold, but she swam deeper, her resolve unwavering. At the bottom, she found the sacred pearl, its surface shimmering with an otherworldly light. She surfaced and handed the pearl to Seraphina. "Your heart is pure," Seraphina said with a smile. "Follow the river downstream, and it will lead you to Malgur's lair." As they approached Malgur's dark fortress, Lyra and Ember steeled themselves for the final challenge. The fortress was surrounded by a thick, foreboding fog, and the air crackled with dark magic. Using her connection to nature, Lyra called upon the spirits of the land for protection. With Ember by her side, she ventured into the heart of the fortress. Inside, they found Malgur standing before an altar, the Moonstone glowing ominously in his hands. He turned, his eyes filled with malice. "Foolish girl," he sneered. "You think you can stop me? With a swift motion, Malgur unleashed a wave of dark magic. But Lyra, holding the sacred pearl, stood her ground. The pearl absorbed the dark energy, and Lyra channeled the power of the moonstone within herself. "You have misused the gift of the moon goddess," Lyra declared. "It is time to restore balance." Summoning all her strength, Lyra directed the moonstone's energy back at Malgur. The fortress shook, and Malgur's dark magic began to dissolve. With a final burst of light, Malgur was vanquished, and the moonstone returned to its pure, radiant form. Exhausted but triumphant, Lyra reclaimed the moonstone and returned it to the kingdom. As she placed the moonstone back in the temple, a wave of calm and peace spread across Lumina. The seas settled, the skies cleared, and the kingdom flourished once more. King Eric honored Lyra for her bravery and wisdom, and the people of Lumina celebrated the return of their hero. The moonstone's legend grew even more, with Lyra's tale becoming an integral part of it, inspiring generations to come. And so, Lumina thrived under the gentle glow of the moonstone, and Lyra's story was passed down through the ages, a testament to the power of courage, purity of heart, and the unyielding spirit of a young woman who dared to restore balance to her world.
Once upon a time, in a charming village nestled at the edge of a vast, mystical forest, there was an enchanted garden that no one had seen for many years. The garden was said to be filled with magical flowers and guarded by a wise old owl who could answer any question. In this village lived a small, timid hedgehog named Hazel. Hazel was known for her curiosity and her kind heart. Every day, she would listen to the stories the elder animals told about the enchanted garden and dream of exploring it one day. However, she was always too afraid to venture into the forest, fearing what might be lurking in the dark woods. One sunny morning, the village faced a problem. The crops were not growing as they should, and the villagers were worried. The only hope they had was the enchanted garden, which was rumored to have plants with magical properties that could restore the land. The village elder called a meeting and announced, "We need someone brave to find the enchanted garden and bring back a magical flower. Who among us will take on this quest?" Hazel's heart raced. She longed to help her village, but was afraid of the journey through the forest. Despite her fears, Hazel decided to step forward. "I will find the enchanted garden and bring back a magical flower." The villagers were surprised, but cheered for Hazel. The elder gave her a small, ancient map that showed the way to the garden. With a determined heart and a small satchel for the magical flower, Hazel set off on her journey. As Hazel entered the forest, the trees seemed to whisper around her. She followed the map's directions, carefully navigating through the thick underbrush and overgrown paths. The forest was beautiful, but also mysterious, with every shadow seeming to hide a secret. After a while, Hazel came across a shimmering stream. The map indicated she needed to cross it, but there was no bridge. Just as she was wondering how to get across, a friendly beaver named Benny appeared. "Hello, little hedgehog," Benny said with a warm smile. "I see you need to cross the stream. I can help you, but first, tell me why you're traveling through the forest." Hazel explained her quest to find the enchanted garden and bring back a magical flower to save her village. Benny, impressed by her bravery, offered to help. Using his skills, he built a sturdy raft from fallen branches and logs. Hazel thanked Benny and crossed the stream safely. Continuing her journey, Hazel reached the edge of a dense thicket. According to the map, the enchanted garden was hidden within. As she pushed through the thicket, she heard a soft, melodious voice singing. Following the sound, Hazel found a beautiful golden bird perched on a low branch. "Welcome, traveler," the golden bird said. "To enter the enchanted garden, you must answer a riddle. What can you hold in your right hand, but never in your left?" Hazel thought for a moment and then smiled. "My left hand." The golden bird chirped happily and fluttered its wings. "You may enter." Hazel carefully made her way through the thicket and emerged into the enchanted garden. The sight was breathtaking. The garden was filled with vibrant flowers that glowed with a soft, otherworldly light. In the center was a grand, crystal fountain that sparkled in the sunlight. Hazel spotted a large, radiant flower in the center of the garden. It was the most beautiful flower she had ever seen, with petals that shimmered in every color of the rainbow. She knew this was the magical flower she needed. As Hazel approached the flower, a wise old owl perched on a nearby tree spoke. "You have done well to find the enchanted garden, but taking the magical flower is not enough. You must also make a wish for the well-being of your village." Hazel closed her eyes and wished with all her heart for the village's crops to flourish and for the land to be restored. The owl nodded in approval, and the magical flower's light grew even brighter. With the flower safely in her satchel, Hazel made her way back to the village. The journey home seemed shorter, and the forest seemed less intimidating. She crossed the stream again, thanked Benny, and returned to the village. As Hazel presented the magical flower to the elder, a wave of warmth and light spread through the village. The crops began to grow lush and green, and the land was restored to its former beauty. The villagers celebrated Hazel's bravery with a grand feast. They thanked her for saving their village and admired her courage. The elder spoke, "Hazel, you have shown us that even the smallest among us can achieve great things with a brave heart." From that day on, Hazel was no longer timid, but was known for her courage and kindness. The enchanted garden remained a symbol of hope and magic, and Hazel's story was told for generations to come. And so, Hazel lived happily in her village, always ready for new adventures and eager to help others in need. The enchanted garden continued to bloom with magic, and the village thrived under its blessing.
In a quiet village nestled between emerald hills and a sparkling river, there was a tale about an enchanted lantern that glowed with a soft, golden light. The lantern was said to possess the power to reveal hidden truths and grant a single wish to those who were selfless and brave. One crisp autumn evening, a young girl named Alara found herself in need of the lantern's magic. Her younger brother, Finn, had been missing for days, and the village was growing worried. Alara, determined to find Finn and bring him home, decided to seek out the enchanted lantern. According to the village legend, the lantern was hidden deep within the Whispering Woods, a forest known for its mysterious and magical creatures. With a heart full of hope, Alara set out as the sun began to set, guided only by the stars that twinkled in the sky. As Alara entered the Whispering Woods, the trees seemed to whisper secrets to one another, their leaves rustling softly in the night breeze. The path ahead was illuminated by the glow of fireflies, leading her deeper into the forest. After walking for hours, she reached a clearing where the air was filled with the scent of blooming nightshade flowers. In the center of the clearing stood a large, ancient oak tree with a hollow at its base. Inside the hollow, Alara found a small, ornate lantern, its surface covered in intricate patterns of stars and moons. The lantern glowed warmly, and as Alara picked it up, a soft voice spoke from within. "Brave soul, you have found the enchanted lantern. To earn its magic, you must complete 3 challenges that test your heart and courage." Alara, though weary, nodded resolutely. "I will face whatever challenges lie ahead to find my brother." The first challenge led her to a babbling brook where a family of ducks was struggling to cross a swiftly flowing section. The ducks were frightened and unable to move. Alara noticed a fallen tree trunk nearby and used it to create a bridge, helping the ducks safely cross the brook. The ducks quacked in gratitude and fluttered their wings, guiding her toward the next challenge. The second challenge was to help a young deer trapped in a hunter's net. The deer was scared and trying to break free. Alara carefully cut through the net with a small knife she carried and gently helped the deer to its feet. The deer nuzzled her in thanks and led her to a grove of glowing mushrooms, marking the path to her final challenge. The final challenge was to solve a riddle posed by a wise old owl perched atop a tree. The owl's eyes gleamed with ancient knowledge as it spoke. "What has roots as nobody sees, is taller than trees, up, up it goes, and yet never grows?" Alara thought deeply, and then her face lit up with understanding. "A mountain." The owl hooted in approval and fluttered its wings, revealing a hidden path leading to a small, sparkling pond. At the edge of the pond stood Finn, who had been following the soft glow of the lantern that Alara had found. Elara ran to her brother, embracing him tightly. "Finn, I'm so glad you're safe." Finn looked up at the enchanted lantern with wonder. "I followed its light. It guided me here." Elara held the lantern high, and it shimmered with a bright, golden light that spread across the pond. The magic of the lantern enveloped them both, and they felt a warm, comforting glow. As they returned to the village, the lantern's light faded gently, leaving behind a feeling of peace and gratitude. The villagers celebrated their safe return and marveled at Elara's bravery and the magic of the lantern. From that day on, the Whispering Woods was seen as a place of wonder and protection, and the legend of the enchanted lantern lived on, a reminder of the power of courage and love. And so, Elara and Finn lived happily, their bond strengthened by their adventure, and the lantern's magic remained a cherished part of their lives. Once upon a time, in the mystical kingdom of Selera, there was a majestic castle nestled atop a hill, surrounded by a forest of towering, ancient trees. This castle was ruled by Queen Elara, known for her wisdom and kindness. The heart of the kingdom's magic was a stunning crown known as the Moonstone Crown, which bestowed peace and prosperity upon the land. The Moonstone Crown was said to have been created by the moon goddess herself and was adorned with a single moonstone that glowed with a soft, silvery light. It was a symbol of the queen's connection to the moon's magic and her duty to protect the realm. One night, as the moon cast its gentle glow over the kingdom, an unexpected storm rolled in, bringing with it dark clouds and fierce winds. When the storm subsided, the Moonstone Crown was missing. The kingdom was plunged into confusion and despair, and Queen Elara was deeply troubled. She knew that without the crown, the kingdom's magic would wane, and darkness might spread. In the castle, there lived a young, brave girl named Leora, who was the daughter of the castle's head gardener. Leora was known for her adventurous spirit and her love for the moon. She had always felt a deep connection to the crown and its magic. Determined to find it, Leora approached Queen Elara and offered to embark on a quest to retrieve the crown. Queen Elara, though hesitant, saw the determination in Leora's eyes and agreed to let her try. "You must journey through the Whispering Woods, cross the cursed river, and reach the dark fortress. Only there will you find clues to the crown's whereabouts. But be wary, for the path is fraught with danger." With her faithful dog, Pippin, by her side, Leora set off at dawn. The Whispering Woods were known for their enchantments and illusions. As she ventured deeper into the woods, she encountered a mischievous fox named Felix, who offered to help her find her way. To find the Moonstone Crown, Felix said, "You must first solve my riddle." Felix's riddle was, "I can fly without wings. I can cry without eyes. Wherever I go, darkness flies. What am I?" Leora thought carefully and answered, "A cloud." Felix nodded approvingly. "You have answered correctly. Follow the path illuminated by the fireflies. They will guide you to the cursed river." Following Felix's advice, Leora and Pippin made their way through the woods and arrived at the cursed river. The river was wide and its waters were dark and foreboding. To cross it, they needed to find a way past the river's treacherous currents. At the river's edge, Leora met a wise old turtle named Tiberius. Tiberius offered to help them cross in exchange for a promise. To cross, you must answer this question: what is the most powerful force in the world? Leora thought deeply and replied, "The most powerful force in the world is love." Tiberius smiled and nodded. "You may cross. I will use my magic to guide you safely." With Tiberius's help, Leora and Pippin crossed the river and continued their journey toward the dark fortress. The fortress was a looming structure surrounded by swirling mists and guarded by fearsome creatures. Leora approached cautiously, her heart pounding. Inside the fortress, they encountered a dark sorcerer named Malvian, who had stolen the Moonstone Crown. He was using its magic to amplify his own dark powers. Malvian confronted Leora with a sinister grin. "You've come for the crown, haven't you? But it is mine now, and it will make me invincible." Leora, though frightened, stood tall. "The crown belongs to the kingdom of Selera. It is a symbol of peace and prosperity, not for selfish gain." Malvian laughed and raised his hands to cast a spell. But Pippin, with his keen senses, distracted the sorcerer by barking loudly, giving Leora the chance to act. Leora noticed a reflection of the moonstone in a nearby pool of water and remembered something she had read about moon magic. With quick thinking, Leora used a shard of moonlight from the pool to counteract Malvian's dark magic. The light from the moonstone weakened Malvian's powers, and he was eventually forced to retreat, vanishing into the shadows. Leora retrieved the moonstone crown, which had fallen from Malvian's grasp. She carefully placed it back in its rightful place, and its gentle glow restored the balance of magic in the kingdom. Triumphant, Leora and Pippin returned to Celera, where they were welcomed with great joy. Queen Alara placed the crown back upon her head, and its light once again bathed the kingdom in a serene glow. The people celebrated Leora's bravery and thanked her for restoring their peace. From that day on, Leora was celebrated as a hero. The moonstone crown continued to shine brightly, a beacon of hope and unity for the kingdom of Celera. And Leora, with her loyal companion Pippin, continued to explore and protect the land, forever guided by the magic of the moon and the lessons of her adventure. And so, the kingdom thrived in peace and prosperity, and the tale of the moonstone crown became a cherished story, reminding all of the power of courage and the importance of protecting what is truly precious. Once upon a time, in a far-off kingdom by the sea, there was a majestic underwater realm known as the Coral Kingdom. The kingdom was famous for its vibrant coral reefs and the dazzling treasures hidden within the ocean. The most prized possession of the Coral Kingdom was the Grand Pearl, a luminous gem said to bring peace and prosperity to the ocean. One day, the Grand Pearl mysteriously vanished from its sacred vault, and the once harmonious Coral Kingdom fell into chaos. The sea creatures were troubled, and the vibrant coral reefs began to lose their color. The wise and gentle Queen Maris, ruler of the Coral Kingdom, was deeply concerned. She knew that the Grand Pearl was crucial to restoring balance and harmony to their underwater world. In a humble part of the Coral Kingdom lived a small starfish named Stella. Despite her size, Stella was known for her boundless curiosity and courage. She often explored the ocean floor, uncovering hidden treasures and learning the secrets of the sea. When Stella heard about the disappearance of the Grand Pearl, she felt a strong sense of duty to help her kingdom. One evening, Queen Maris summoned Stella to her royal palace made of iridescent shells. "Stella," the queen said, "you have shown great bravery and kindness. I believe you might be the key to finding the Grand Pearl. Will you undertake this quest to restore the balance to our kingdom?" Stella accepted the challenge with determination. She set off on her journey, guided by a map given to her by the queen. The map led her to 3 important locations in the ocean, each with its own unique challenge. The first location was the Abyssal Trench, a deep and dark part of the ocean known for its swirling currents. As Stella navigated through the trench, she encountered a formidable sea serpent named Seraphim. The serpent was guarding an ancient scroll with clues about the Grand Pearl's location. "Brave starfish," Seraphim said, "to retrieve the scroll, you must show courage. Solve my riddle, and I will grant you passage." The riddle was, I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I? Star. Stella thought carefully and answered, a joke. Seraphim smiled and allowed Stella to take the scroll. The scroll revealed the next location, the Grotto of Echoes. The Grotto of Echoes was a mesmerizing cave where sounds bounced off the walls, creating a symphony of echoes. Stella had to find her way through the cave while listening to the echoes and avoiding misleading sounds. After much patience and careful listening, Stella discovered a hidden chamber where a magnificent seashell lay. Inside the shell was a shimmering key. With the key in hand, Stella followed the map to the final location, the Garden of Luminescence, a beautiful underwater garden where bioluminescent plants glowed softly. In the center of the garden stood a giant clam with a locked shell. Stella used the key to unlock the clam's shell, and inside was the Grand Pearl, radiating its mesmerizing light. But as Stella approached the pearl, a dark shadow loomed over her. It was a jealous and mischief-loving octopus named Zephyr, who had stolen the pearl out of spite. return the pearl if you wish to restore the balance," Stella declared. Zephyr, touched by Stella's bravery and kindness, realized the harm he had caused. "I only wanted to see if I could control the pearl's magic," Zephyr admitted. "I never meant to bring discord to the ocean." With a heartfelt plea, Stella persuaded Zephyr to return the grand pearl. Zephyr, seeing the sincerity in Stella's eyes, agreed. As soon as the pearl was restored to its rightful place in the clam, a wave of tranquility spread through the coral kingdom. The reefs regained their vibrant colors, and harmony was restored to the underwater world. The sea creatures celebrated Stella's bravery and kindness, and even Zephyr was welcomed back as a friend. Queen Maris held a grand feast in Stella's honor, praising her for her courage and determination. The tale of Stella's quest and the restoration of the Grand Pearl became a beloved story in the Coral Kingdom, reminding all of the power of bravery, kindness, and the importance of restoring harmony. And so, the Coral Kingdom thrived once more, its waters shimmering with peace and prosperity, forever grateful for the heart of a small starfish who restored their most precious treasure. The end.